Just led Everett over his right shoulder. They would have had a chance, but he throws it to the inside. Really not a good throw from Justin Herbert. And because he throws it to the inside and a little bit low, he's lucky that Jalen Mills didn't intercept that pass, and it was just a pass breakup.
Lone setback is Kelly on 3rd and 6. Herbert near side end zone for Allen, and that's incomplete. Jonathan Jones was with him step for step.
I love Jones's technique. They were trying to set up the double move, the little slant and go, but Jones all over it. Just disciplined football. Doesn't fall for it. One of the best double move wide receivers in the National Football League, and really nowhere for Justin Herbert to throw the football. Two excellent plays by Mills and Jones to force the field goal.
See what Dicker has done. He's been exceptional this season, but difficult weather conditions here. 38-yard attempt. Good snap by Josh Harris. And Dicker's season that has been terrific continues. Offensively in the rain, and so far it's exactly what we've seen.
Yeah, it hasn't necessarily been a passing clinic. You see the ball coming out. Zappi has been behind on a couple of plays. And again, it's tough conditions. You would expect some of those easy throws to be completed, but I know my production, Spiro, once it gets under 60, my arm goes in the toilet. I just can't function as a passer. So
I expected more from you in those moments. 1st and 10 as they begin at the 25-yard line. Zappi hands to Elliott. As Elliott steps into their #1 running back spot for Ramondre Stevenson, who left this game with what they're calling an ankle injury. Got the report from Aditi early. And speaking of Aditi, who's been trying to stay warm, we check in with her again right now. Hi, Aditi.
Spiro, the rain has indeed picked up a little bit. It is also starting to feel a little bit colder down here. I'll tell you, though, neither of the quarterbacks are showing any sort of inclination to complain. They're doing the best they can.
Zappi hasn't had to play in too many wet weather games. And what a catch. Elliott one-handed. 1st down and more. Elliott. Electrifying play trying to jumpstart this offense. Finally something to cheer about. They pick up 23.
It kind of reminds you a little bit of the Colts game where Ezekiel Elliott had about 35 yards receiving out of the backfield. Really nice job to just stick the hand out there, bring the ball in, and then break that tackle from Derwin James.
Remember Elliott, they signed him to that 1-year free agent deal middle of August, couple of weeks into training camp. Very thin behind Stevenson at the running back spot. We know about his past, what a career he's had. And trying to resurrect his career here in New England. He'll be the featured back here down the stretch of this opening half. And probably longer, as Stevenson really was barely able to put any weight on that leg. With Elliott, a lot of these running backs are accomplished, just waiting for the phone to ring. Finally it came. And can he now help generate some points with this Patriots offense? 2nd and 6 as they work just inside the Chargers 45. Zappi from the gun fires far side and incomplete. Looked like Smith-Schuster just lost his footing. No flags with Dean Leonard. One of the lineup changes that Brandon Staley has made the last couple of weeks on the coverage.
Well, you see him slip out of his release and stumble, and so that allows Leonard to just stay on top. And then down the field, as if just as he's trying to adjust for the football again, he goes to the ground. And look, they've had some inconsistency at quarterback, but even at wide receiver this year, you think about you're down. Kendrick Bourne was your most consistent player. He's out with an ACL. Demario Douglas, the rookie, was doing some impressive things. He's not playing in this game. And so it's one of those things. Now no Stevenson. Who is there to make a play for the Patriots?
Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, the shake of the head from Bill O'Brien tells you the story. That makes this even more difficult now, as they will mark them back to the 50-yard line. And now suddenly they're looking at a 3rd and 12. Much different set of circumstances for their offense here.
This is a down where, you know, you would love Devontae Parker in this type of a game where maybe the speed element isn't there. Somebody that at least has a reputation of being able to win one of those contested catches.
Zappi feels the pressure with Mack trying to buy some time, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds. Never really had a chance with Tuipulotu and Mack giving chase for Los Angeles.
Really, it's so impressive because Mack just, he's able to put pressure, but really what I liked was the inside pursuit. You know, Mack is able to flush him, but the rookie Tuipulotu is just already having himself a heck of a game here today.
So 5 possessions for the Patriots. This is their 4th punt. Throwing the Stevenson fumble, the takeaway by the Chargers. It has been an ugly first half of offense for the Patriots. Behringer's punt will be downed at around the 16, maybe 17-yard line. 34 yards on the punt. So Tuipulotu. Everyone talks about Jacksonville. They were 3-7. They turned it on, but much easier to do when you play in that AFC South. It seems to be so wide open.
Yeah, listen, a lot can happen, but basically you've got to win out. You know, there were just, it's really a season of missed opportunity, and that's what it is. So many games that you really had a chance but gave it away late, and now you have to play your best, but hope for a miracle.
Herbert goes to his reads and completes. Boy, threads the needle to Parham. Looked like Parham was surrounded, but he gets it to the tight end. They pick up 7 to set him up with a much more palatable 3rd and 2.
Yeah, really some good stuff by Herbert in the pocket, looking to his right, and then knowing that he has Parham on the backside, is able to just thread it in there. And you're right, that sets up a 3rd and 2. It'd be great if you had a running game that you could trust and rely on in short yardage situations, but I don't think the Chargers have that.
Play action, Herbert underneath Everett. First down and more for Los Angeles. Staley again hinted that Everett would be a little bit more featured this week. Had to deal with a little bit of a chest injury. Last week returned to the lineup after he missed the game at Green Bay. And we know the talent. Of course, all those years in Seattle as he came over in free agency last year.
Yeah, really, he really hasn't been used a lot here in the second half of the season. Had 4 catches last week. Really, his biggest catch came early in that game when Herbert found him crossing, you know, the deep middle part of the field.
First 4 years of his career with the Rams, as this is Joshua Kelly. Tackled close to the 40-yard line, a run of 7. One thing about Herbert, Arch, who of course grew up in the Pacific Northwest, grew up in Eugene, in the shadows of the University of Oregon. So this kid who grew up in the rain, basically, said, my best friend today on a day like today in this kind of weather is my towel, keeping those hands dry. And so far so good as he has this offense back in business. Looks like maybe an injured New England Patriot. It's Jawan Bentley here is going to be escorted to the sideline. Which looked like maybe a collision on that last play with Kelly as Bentley was there on the tackle. What appeared to be a pretty hard collision. And now the athletic trainers making sure that Bentley is okay. Right there on the block from Everett. So 2 hard hits that Bentley had to absorb on that play.
Yeah, really hard to see exactly what happened. It looks like he's maybe a little busted lip.
Bentley, their leading tackler, coming off what was a career year last year. Incredible story. Former 5th-round pick out of Purdue. He's touched on his tough childhood that he had to endure, homeless for a stretch during his high school years. Fulfilling his dreams of playing at the NFL at the highest level, as they will take a closer look at him now down on that New England sideline. So 2nd and 3 with 4 and change now left before halftime. Back to Kelly, and Kelly, that second stab as he was stuck at the line of scrimmage. We'll get them a little bit closer to the line to gain. Tackled there by Duggar, but Kellen Moore just so desperate, Arch, to get this running game going that has really been non-existent for long stretches.
Yeah, and again, I just, it's hard for me to think that if you don't have the ability to win any type of game, that you're going to be, you know, of course they've got the quarterback, but you could be a team that can really contend and compete in the playoffs.
Eckler looking for a seam. Does he have it? Trying to squirt his way through, and it appears as though he's got enough. Waiting for the official signal, and Bill Vinovich says first down Chargers.
You know, and Eckler, his reputation as a back that he is great at being able to force the missed tackles, but a lot of that is in space. You know, you don't look at the Chargers and say, hey, they have a physical, you know, downhill smash mouth running game. And to me, again, I know that you've got Herbert, and you know that's your bread and butter is the passing game, but until they're able to develop some sort of balance where they can rely on a run game, I think it's going to be tough to be consistent.
Herbert's pass broken up. That was nearly picked. Mack Wilson had a chance as Herbert once again tries to thread the needle to Stone Smart.
Well, you mentioned Jawan Bentley. Here's Mack Wilson, number 3. And really, you look at this defense. You know, they had some games where they gave up some big plays in the passing game, but you look at this defense, their linebacking core really has played pretty well. Mack Wilson, another year in the system. Jawan Bentley, Jelani Tavai, really some good, versatile players that have played some good football here down the stretch.
Herbert on a cross locates his rookie Quentin Johnston, brought down right after the catch by Jonathan Jones. So that'll set up a third down here as they play their extended 2-minute offense with 2 and change left, and the Chargers holding their last 2 timeouts.
Well, the Patriots so far in this game really haven't spent extra attention on Keenan Allen. They pretty much played him straight up in man-to-man coverage, and for the most part, you know, this time Keenan Allen is looks like he is the slot, the inside receiver. Right here.
Eckler is buried. Josh Uche gets there first as Eckler is blown up, and they lose 7.
We just got done talking about how the Chargers really don't have a run game, in my opinion, that you can trust in critical situations.
30-second timeout.
And whether or not they were expecting some sort of pressure from the inside and they try to get to the perimeter, but Uche was you know, they're trying to beat him with Allen on the crackback block, but he is just too fast and makes contact 4 or 5 yards deep in the backfield.
You know, this New England defense has come to play. Uche had to deal with that foot injury, missed a couple of games earlier in the season. One of the players they were hoping would pick up the slack after they lost Matthew Judon to the foot injury back in that Week 4 game against Dallas. So plenty of time on the clock. New England with 2 timeouts. But the question at this point, can Bailey Zappi just get anything going with their offense? So far that has not been the case. So Scott here to punt from right around his own 25-yard line. It's off a good one here, spiraling punt, and the fair catch is signaled by Bryant. But once again, Chargers winning the field position battle thanks in large part to J.K. Scott, who has been brilliant. 53 yards on the punt. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus all season long through Super Bowl 58 and includes next week's outstanding doubleheader.
Duracell, engineered for more.
Didi braving the elements, hanging out, trying to stay warm down on that sideline. We remind you, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Nate Boomer, JJ Watt, Coach Cower, all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. And by the way, happy birthday to Aditi. And she celebrated, was her 27th birthday? Yesterday. March. Here is Elliott, and he is going backwards. Eric Kendricks, who's been a little bit maligned after they bring him over basically to replace Drew Tranquill makes a play for this defense. They lose a couple. Chargers will take their second time out. We'll break back in 30 after this from Walmart.
Hey, did you get the batteries? You didn't get the batteries. Where'd you go?
We don't just have everything. We have your thing.
Third drive that has started inside their own 10-yard line for Bill O'Brien's offense. 4 punts, 1 fumble. Not exactly the way Bailey Zappi hoped that this would go, at least so far, as he makes his first start of the season and third of his young 2-year NFL career. Now we'll get the marker thrown here and another offensive penalty.
Full start. Offense number 1. 5-yard, half the distance to the goal, still down.
That's Devontae Parker and the third penalty against O'Brien's offense. Bill O'Brien's second stint here as Belichick's offensive coordinator, was here in that 2011 season. Was succeeded by Josh McDaniels. And boy, it has been a struggle to say the least for this New England offense. Zappi from his own end zone, off target for Elliott, and it's incomplete. And the boos starting to rain down here at Gillette. Which you just hoped, if you were a Patriots fan, you know, full allotment of snaps with the first team players during the week after he was kind of thrown in the meat grinder with all of those relief appearances earlier in the season. But so far, it just has not been the case for Zappi.
Yeah, and that's really probably the third, at least the third or the fourth time that his throw has been behind his intended receiver.
Here is Davis playing it from right around his own 40. Davis slips a couple of tackles. Davis doing his dance on the sideline. And the Chargers are going to begin inside the New England 30-yard line. Davis with 35 on the return.
Well, look how he initially, right there, he just splits 2 tacklers coming from each direction, and then you get really good blocking out there. But really, in a game like this, giving you a chance here with good field position for Herbert to try to get, you know, something more right before halftime.
Davis had that 87-yard punt return touchdown against the Jets earlier in the season. 4th-round pick out of TCU. And he's given Herbert the football now at the Patriots 27. So LA with 1 timeout left, 94 seconds. How does Herbert operate this offense here? Slings one far side. And he's been looking in the direction of his rookie Johnston, Arch, trying to get his confidence up. Clock still moving as they keep him in bounds with 1:22 left and counting.
Well, I think you have no choice. You know, you get a guy that out there that's 6'4", 215 pounds at the X receiver in a one-on-one situation. Those are plays throughout his career that he has to be a master at being able to make. And that's why they drafted him, to be able to be that backside receiver one-on-one.
Herbert towards the end zone, broke it up. Intended for Guyton. Well played by Jonathan Jones, who's been terrific so far in this first half.
Yeah, he really has. But again, you see, look at the technique by number 31 inside, just in really good position. But you see again, the ball is inside and low. And so it really gives Jones, who has excellent inside position, to be able to make a play on that football. But if he just puts it out in front, then his receiver has a much better chance of making that play.
Third down here and a long 2. Herbert rolling out, trying to buy himself some time. I believe he stepped out of bounds before he threw the football. They do rule incomplete. It was Josh Uche coming with some heavy pressure. And boy, even with the short field, Herbert and company are going to go 3 and out, and all they can do here is just attempt a field goal. So Herbert did indeed get it off before he stepped out of bounds, but again, good coverage by the Patriots.
Yeah, you see, probably
maybe too good.
Maybe a little bit of a hold there, but he was looking to the right side the entire time. Patriots really just not any separation today by either team's wide receivers.
So Dicker, who hit from 38 earlier, bangs this one in from 38 yards out. And the Chargers build on their lead 6-0 with 44 seconds left in this second quarter. Another reminder to keep it here. The Verizon halftime report comes your way next. JB and the fellas standing by in New York. Scores and highlights on the Verizon halftime report. So Zappe getting that right arm warmed up. New England this season, when allowing 10 or more, 10 points or less, 1-2. Compare that to the rest of the NFL. And again, just speaks to the offensive issues that they've had. One thing Mr. Belichick has to be pleased with is his defense. And Kellen Moore, the first thing he said, look, when you face Belichick, third time that he's facing Belichick as a play caller today is Kellen Moore. He said, Bill always takes away your strength.
Yeah.
So you always have to adapt. It's one of the things he learned in those first meetings against Belichick's defenses. Clearly they've taken Keenan Allen away.
Well, let's face it, the weather also has taken away the strength of the Chargers.
But they muff it here with Rager, able to retake possession, but not the return they were looking for as he barely crosses the 10. And their special team struggles in terms of the return game continue as Rager wants that one back. So 36 seconds left. Can't imagine that Bill O'Brien and company are going to take many chances here with their offense, despite the fact, Arch, that they've got 2 timeouts left.
I've got my money on a screen. or maybe a draw. A screen or a draw to me is where the smart money is on this play.
They begin at the 13-yard line. So Arch is 0 for 1 as he looks into his crystal ball.
No, I just said draw.
Oh, you said draw play. Okay.
I said screen.
I heard screen. You're right. 1 for 1.
I kind of hedged.
Does an RPO count as a draw play?
That wasn't an RPO. That was a draw.
We'll go to our judges with 10 seconds left. Looks like the Patriots content to just let this one run out. Points at a premium in the rain in Foxborough, 6-0 Chargers in a game that Brandon Staley's bunch has to have to keep their dimming playoff hopes alive. End of the first half. Our halftime